Hi everyone, my name is Michaela. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a librarian in the Pikes Peak Library District. If you guys are anything like me, you have been obsessed with WandaVision for the last month or so. I thought I would walk you all through how to draw some quick, tiny portraits of Wanda and Vision. Keep in mind though that because these characters are the intellectual property of Marvel and Disney, anything that we draw today is just for practice. With that out of the way though, I hope you guys enjoy this video. To start these portraits, draw two ovals. Draw Wanda's pretty even and round and have Vision's come to a slight point at the bottom. You'll also want to bisect each oval on the vertical and horizontal axis because as you can see, this will help block in the different areas of the face. You'll want to place one eye on either side of the vertical line and have the bottom of the eye rest on the horizontal line in the middle of the oval. The bottom of the nose should fall about halfway between the eyes and the chin, and the same is true with the mouth. It should fall about halfway between the nose and the chin. In order to block in all of these shapes, for the mouth specifically, since we're drawing them smiling, just do rough upside down trapezoid shapes in order to indicate where their smiles will be. Once you have the rough structure for their faces, you can start to block in minor details. Here I've started with Vision. I've drawn in the Mind Stone and I'm drawing in a few other details that make him look a little bit more like a synthezoid than a human. He doesn't have real ears. There are some intricate lines on the sides of his face in order to indicate that he isn't quite human and is made of vibranium. With Wanda, you'll want to start by blocking in her ears. They're a little bit more round than Vision's are, and you'll also want to start blocking in her hair. We're starting with 50s Wanda, so draw in her side part, and then a rough shape to kind of get where the hair is going to fall on her head. There's definitely going to be more hair on one side than the other, and we will add curls and other details a little bit later. At this point, you can also square off Wanda's jaw. In the show, she's got a pretty rectangular face, so you can create some more angled lines instead of the round oval that we had drawn in earlier. After you're done blocking, erase the construction lines that are no longer helpful to you, like the vertical and horizontal lines that helped you with the placement of the face. If you accidentally erase any line that you don't mean to, just go back over it lightly in pencil. Here you can also make any adjustments to your blocking. If you see something that you would like changed, this is a good point to change it. Just remember to draw in anything lightly at this point because we will still be adding a few more details. Next, you can start to solidify the face. I've drawn in the face shape I think is correct, and here I'm also adding eyelashes and white spots to her eyes. I'm also going to fill in her eyebrows to make them look a little bit more dynamic. And then you can also start to add lips, just a cupid's bow up on the top lip with a little, and filling in the bottom a little bit as well. Here I'm also adjusting her nose a little bit. I'll make larger adjustments too, because at this point I feel like I've drawn it a little bit too low. So at this point too, it's still a good time to make adjustments. Here I'm also going to define Wanda's curls a little bit more, or a lot more actually, by blocking them in. I have a really particular style in drawing curls, so feel free to emulate them if you like. I use some pretty deep S shapes, or you can find a style and shapes that work for you. The important thing with this hairstyle for Wanda's 50s look is just to make sure that there's more hair on one side of her head than the other. Also finish the eyes, nose, and mouth on Vision, but here you can also start to draw in a few more details that again make him look a little bit more like a synthezoid than a human. I've added some details on his forehead to kind of indicate an illusion of eyebrows. I'm also solidifying his nose, making his smile a little bit pronounced, and then I'm adding a few smaller details to the metal pieces on the side of his face and his chin. Once you feel like you're done adding in details, erase any other lines that you do not need and go over your work again in darker pencil or in an ink pen. You can also trace your work onto a clean sheet of paper if, like me, you accidentally draw too hard and can't erase pencil lines completely. If you want more practice drawing Wanda and Vision, you can draw them in the different decades simply by changing Wanda's hairstyle. Here we have her 50s look, but you can also do other decades like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and the late 90s and early 2000s.